Hi, hello, hey. I'm Jill. I'm 38 years old and I'm an aspiring author. I've been morbidly obese my entire life. That is, until 2 years ago, when my health took a turn and I began to experience the symptoms of a degenerative tissue disease in my joints, specifically the cartilage in my knees, and more recently, the tendons in my wrists. Something needed to change because I was slowly losing bits and pieces of my independence to whatever disease this is attacking my joints. I've got some 30 odd years of dieting failures to draw perspective from, so I know what a last ditch effort feels like. I have some pretty horrific PTSD left over from medical abuse I've suffered at the hands of medical professionals throughout my life, including my own grandmother and aunt. That's a whole can of worms itself, so it will wait for another time. But it's why bariatric surgery was never an option for me. The trauma is just too deeply rooted and too volatile. Something that I've been struggling with over the course of my life, really. I've struggled with self-worth, my value as a human being. I've been taught my entire life by family, friends, outside experiences, just how little purpose I have as a fat woman. So I wonder, what value do I provide in making this video and sharing my experiences? Well, that's a good question. Maybe I'm just trying to put my story out there in the hopes it might save someone a little misery by learning through my mistakes. I'm trying to be kinder and gentler to myself, and if I can inspire others, that maybe lessens the sting of my pain and my trauma. My misery has to have been for something. Otherwise, and I hesitate to ask, what was the point? I was faced with having to do what had previously been impossible. So I needed to get my weight under control. My attempts at dieting over the course of my life have been many, and each and every attempt had failed. I've been up a series of uphill battles, and I've come too far now to give up. I fight to convince myself daily that I am worthy, I have value, and that I belong here. I'm finally putting myself first in a way that matters most. Speaking of good questions, one I see on Facebook and TikTok a lot is, did you have to make any major changes in your diet in order to be successful on Contrave? The short answer is no. I actually didn't change anything. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My diet has technically never been the problem. It was my self-hatred fueled, self-destructive binging and secrecy that was the problem. And that is something that I've only recently discovered, and I'm not quite comfortable yet admitting where I am in my recovery from binge eating. It's been a long road, and Contrave has given me the strength and power to do things I never would have thought possible. I was also very limited in the kinds of exercise I could do thanks to an underlying condition that went undetected until I'd lost well over 100 pounds. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and even that, I'm struggling with that diagnosis. Especially if I question if it had been discovered sooner, might things have regressed the way they have? The answer is probably not, but it's a what if, and I can't live on what ifs. I have been unable to walk without the use of crutches for almost 2 years. 2 years in which I've lost over 179 pounds doing only gentle seated exercises and by pedaling away at an under-the-desk ergometer that I bought to get some exercise in. At first, I could only bike for 5 minutes at a time. That's how excruciating the pain was. I could feel the bones and cartilage of my knees slowly grinding and crunching away. It made even that little effort frustrating and discouraging. I don't know how to accurately express just how empty and hollow I felt in my stomach, how hopeless I felt, needing to lose weight, but being certain that it'd never be possible. I thought I'd been handed a death sentence. But then, in January of 2021, my healthcare provider offered me a sample of the oral prescription medication called Contrave with a let's just try it for shits and giggles kind of attitude. When I say I've never succeeded at anything the way I have at losing weight on this medication, I mean, I have never succeeded at anything like this. I lived the last 2 years. I know how much blood, sweat, and tears and hard work and self-discipline went into it. But I've lost 179 pounds. And the results still astonish me. So I, for all intents and purposes, as a disabled individual, diagnosed, treating for binge eating disorder, have managed to overcome a lifetime of failed weight loss attempts with minimal exercise, being unable to walk without the use of crutches. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty freaking impressed with my progress to date. I am so very proud of myself and the transformation that I've undergone. I've had so many obstacles in my way, and I addressed each one with the stubborn determination to succeed. And here we are now. I've been recording my journey with the hopes of publishing my story in its entirety soon. And it's been an enormous undertaking that I hadn't been entirely prepared for. I'm starting to comprehend just how deep some of my childhood trauma goes and how it shaped me through the years. It's a unique perspective, not seen by very many, and I think that there's some value and importance in how we talk to obese people, especially about how they've been treated by society. Something needs to happen to repair the relationship between healthcare professionals and obese patients who suffered years of medical gaslighting like I have. But how do we repair our relationship that still shows plenty of evidence that prejudice and bias are still prevalent today? It's 2023. Shouldn't we know better by now? This channel, I want to be a safe space for anybody who has struggled with weight or with an eating disorder, mental health in general, self-worth, self-value. I want this to be a safe place for you. I want this place to be a space where your voices are heard because we've been silent for far too long. I want you to feel seen, I want you to feel heard, and I want you to feel validated because you matter and you are important. So if it's not too much trouble, please help me get my story out there. Show the like button a little love and subscribe to stay up to date on my journey to come. Much love, and until next time, be kinder to yourself from me. Thanks for watching.